Hello and welcome back to my channel. Now today, I'm going to be showing you guys how to file for the state of Pennsylvania for unclaimed property. What you need to do is you need to put in Pennsylvania unclaimed property and then search it in Google. And if you look on here, the first link that comes up on my search is Pennsylvania, patreasury.gov, unclaimed property. So I'm going to click that link because it actually is the government for Pennsylvania for unclaimed property. And if you look in here, warning, unclaimed property texting scam. So look, there's some scams going around for this. Notice to holders of unclaimed property. Well, we're just going to do a search of the unclaimed property. Now, you can search by last name or business name, first name. The first one is required. The other ones are all optional. We have first name, zip code, address, city, and property number. That's if you know your property number. Then you got to confirm down here. Let's say we do a search, let's say, for an old company that I cannot actually claim any of this property, but I'm not sure if you guys have ever heard of the old store Jamesway. Let's just do a property search for Jamesway, just for the heck of it. And if you look here, Jamesway has a whole bunch of unclaimed property for their corporation that was never done. Under 100, over 100, over 100, under. And if you look, there are 5 pages of unclaimed property for Jamesway. But let's just pretend that I was Jamesway. I'm not going to submit any of this documentation for Jamesway because I actually am not them. What we do is we click add to cart, and if you look, it says cart over here, and you go add to cart, add to cart. I'll just say I'm not going to check these out because that would be fraud. Then we're going to go over here to claimant login. It's going to ask me for my username and password. You can also register for an account if you don't have one. And if you don't have one, you click register. But if you already have an account like I do, we want to put in our username and we want to sign in. And just so you know, I changed my username password login the other day because that's going on my phone. Okay, after we're logged in, you can say view status of claims that you filed, because I did file a claim because I had some unclaimed property. All right, you can update your user profile, begin a search for unclaimed property, log out. But if you look up here, you still have it in your cart for the ones that you added. Now it wants to know my relationship. Let's say I'm the owner. You can also say heir, surviving spouse, your surviving child, parent, sibling, other. So I believe if you're surviving, I think you may have to have a death certificate. Like my one nephew, his grandmother on the other side of the family passed away, and she has unclaimed property. And then his mother passed away. So basically, he would be the closest living dependent, so he could say heir other, and they'd want to know what type of heir he was, which would be grandson. He's the only living one left. And I think there's a bank account that has like $700 some in it. But my family has yet to drive over to the county, to the coroner's office, to get a copy of the death certificate. Once they do that, they could actually file to get that money back. So let's just say I'm going to lie on all these and say that I'm the owner. Like I said, I'm not going to actually file these. And I think that information, and I didn't really want to show my information. But it's going to ask you for your address, your phone number. Social Security number here is optional, but my brother had 2 items that were unclaimed. When he put in his Social Security number, and he went ahead and did the ACH down here, it did not make him mail on any forms. It was accepted instantly. He got a message later on the same day saying that the money's going to be direct deposit in his bank account, that his claim was approved. Now, I think the reason why his claim got approved so quickly is one of them was his current address. One of them was his past address, which was the same location, but they updated the addresses for the 911 system. so everybody would have an address in that area instead of just a P.O. box number. So once you do that, you click on Create Claim, and it's going to send you a PDF file that it'll want you to download. And you can actually, it'll like, you may have to print it off, or it may accept it instantly as an ACH. So it could happen multiple different ways there. But like I said, I'm not going to actually submit this because these are not really mine, and I don't want to go to jail. So I'm going to remove all these because they are not mine. And I was just curious for my area as well. Like there's a fire company called Hose 6. And if we look here, the fire company for hose number 6 has a whole bunch of unclaimed properties. Under, over 100, over 100, under 100, over 100, over, under. And then we go to the second page, over 100. So that makes like 11 things that are unclaimed. And if you look here, they're mostly from insurance checks. When I'm here looking at, there's people, natural gas, like credit balances. I guess they got credit back. Liberty Mutual Insurance. University of Pittsburgh Medical Center. So I guess they got a check for over $100 from them. And the thing is, you don't know that these checks could be for a few $1,000s, or it could just be just barely over $100. You have no idea. But like I said, let's say my last name was Blos. And we're just going to do a search. It's not my last name. Well, nothing came up for that. Trying to think of a last name to put in there. Let's try Claypool. And if you look here, there's a whole bunch of Claypools. And it'll list what their past address was, or their current address, but they have unclaimed property. Now, this, like I said, this RR4, Blocks 288B, they actually changed these names a while ago. That's somebody's like old address. But if you look here, they must be the same household, same address for these two here. And there's a Chris and there's a Glenn. For the same address. There's under, and one for over. And if you look, there's actually 3 papers of Claypool's. Now, if you wanted to, you could search it down by your name. My older brother found one where they had his first name spelled wrong on one of them, and his for 2 of his claims for his address. So we were better off to search by the last name and the city he lived in. Like, I've lived in multiple different cities, so I was searching a whole bunch of different cities, trying to find my name, just to double check to make sure there's no other unclaimed property for me in other states. Now, let me go to, I did open up, and I opened up the PDF, and this is what they send you. And it'll actually tell you like all about the letter. It'll tell you what you need to do. And then down below it, the next page, it starts to go over the property. It'll give my name, what the property and stuff is. And I really don't want to show that right now. Like I said, I just placed a claim for my property, and I'm just waiting to get my property right now. Well, I'd like to thank you guys for viewing this video. And remember to click like and subscribe.